Hey, Bastish B for 64K and welcome to another episode of Modern Vintage. So what's this show about? I take a look at modern retro inspired games on modern systems, and we also take a look at the possible inspiration game behind it. And today's games are... Okay, so let's first take a look at the two inspiration games. So first up, we'll take a look at the game that no doubt inspired the next two, that being The Oregon Trail, originally released in 1971 and designed to help teach kids about the pioneering life in the harsh 1800s. But its popularity and fun gameplay mechanics took it from being an educational game to a full-fledged video game. It eventually got a full release in 1975 by MECC, the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium. I first played this game in 1990 on PC, and that's the version you see in here. There's been almost 20 different versions of this game released over the years, plus spin-offs like the Yukon Trail and the Amazon Trail. Essentially, the game is a strategy resource management game that tasks you to make it by wagon from Missouri to Oregon in the mid-1800s with your family in tow. You basically live and die by every choice you make. How much food should you buy? Do you waste money on more cattle or bullets? The choices are all yours, and they can be pretty difficult. The game's mechanic though definitely involves a large degree of luck as well, so no matter how well you plan things can still go horribly wrong, as the main traveling aspect throws up random events that can either be good or bad. And it's this gameplay aspect which keeps you coming back for more, because no two games are alike. And if you've ever seen the meme, "You have died of dysentery," then this is the game that made that line famous. Various mini games have been added over the years to the core of the game, giving it a nice fun updated makeover, but essentially it's still the same game that was originally designed in 1971, and it definitely managed to cross over into the pure video game territory the same way the common San Diego games did. Don't let the basic graphics and lackluster sound deter you either. This is a fun game that will have you hooked immediately. And let's immediately jump over to the next game, which was released more than 4 decades after the original Oregon Trail, called The Oregon Trail, by men who wear many hats. This is the 2017 complete edition we are looking at here, and boy does this game not even try to hide the inspiration. In fact, it flies the flag high and embraces it, and by simply changing the setting from the 1800s to a post-apocalyptic zombie scenario, they have successfully breathed new life into an old formula. So as before, it's a survival strategy resource management game, and a pretty good parody of the original Oregon Trail as well. I originally played this on my Ouya and couldn't believe how much fun it was. This version brings a lot of fun little extras to the overall stat-based gameplay. The plot though is still very familiar. Form a party and set out on your cheesy 80s station wagon and try to make it from the east to the west coast of the US to a safe zone where you'll eventually be zombie free. So being a zombie post-apocalyptic game, you are faced with endless struggles as you try to make it from A to B. The gameplay involves making tactical choices like fixing your car or buy food, and a large dose of luck as with the previous game, as random events can occur at any time like zombie horde attacks or somebody in your party getting sick, and you're gonna need some basic skills in action-based minigames like shooting zombies as you scavenge for food, or the reflex-based car mechanic game. So managing your resources like food, fuel, ammo and car parts is of vital importance to your survival. Also, the path you choose also has pluses and minuses. The radiated areas may shave hours or days off your journey, but the potential for people getting sick is very high. But the long way around is much safer, but you're gonna burn through those supplies rapidly. So there's a lot of hard choices ahead, just like the Oregon Trail. This version also has a separate game made where you can literally take control of the station wagon and attempt to drive the journey yourself. It's a fun little addition to try out between frequent deaths. Overall, this game is an excellent modern alternative to the core elements of the Oregon Trail, all the while adding some fun mini games and setting to an already well-established game. Okay, now let's check out the new game. And this all leads to 2016's release of Death Road to Canada by Rocket Cat Games and Mad Garden. This game takes the core elements of Oregon and Organ and ramps it up to the extreme with a fully fledged action base. as well as the resource management and some RPG elements. The story is almost the same as the previous two. This time, however, you have to make it from Florida to Canada to escape the zombie outbreak, with Canada being the only nation left which is zombie free. Some of the biggest differences are that the game is completely randomly generated, so no two games are even slightly similar, and with the insane amount of randomly generated events, I mean, I'm still discovering new ones every time I play. So driving from town to town, looting supplies and recruiting new members to your party is the basics of the gameplay. But there is a lot more, like being able to equip your party members before going on raids with all sorts of crazy equipment, upgrading your characters by working out or reading books for example, and you can create your own characters just like Organ and Oregon, but you'll meet them at some point in the game, but you never know when or where. The action element is heaps of fun too. And did I mention it also supports couch co-op, which is a total blast. As long as you remember the game has permadeath, so once a character dies they are gone for good. Overall, the randomness of the game is its core addictiveness, and with the unpredictable action element it's taken to the extreme. Really good 8-bit style graphics and some really funky music round out a game that is a must play on all modern consoles and computers. And thanks for joining me, BassishB at 64K. I hope you had a good time. If you can like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!